Hi everyone, welcome to Metis Livestream. It's a Tuesday and it's last Tuesday before Christmas, yay. My name is Elena Sinelnikova, I am CEO of Metis. Today we're going to have a fireside talk with Claudius about this a little bit later. Paul is already here, welcome Paul. And I also have my team here who is helping me, and Yaroslav, who is managing the live stream, is actually right now multitasking because we also having an AMA at the MEXC Russia. So thank you, Yaroslav, for doing that. Being in two places at once, and we are all doing the same sometimes as well. So it's going to be very exciting and welcome. So I'm going to share my presentation now, and we're going to proceed with our live stream. All right. So Fireside today with DIA, and DIA is the Oracle provider, which we're very, very excited about. And we're going to learn today all about it. But before we're doing that, let's look at the agenda. And in this agenda, we're going to have Metis overview as usual, then fireside chat, then we're going to have our lucky draw week 3, be ready, and Q&A as usual. So please feel free to drop your questions at any time in our Telegram chat, also in a live stream chat. And also if you are on Twitter and if you would like to ask a question there, please do so. We will try to answer everything. So what is Metis? And you probably know by now, we are building a platform for the decentralized business, and we're building the whole Web3 world. We would like to make our blockchain accessible to everyone. And we're doing it via the technology. So our technology is the combination of the layer 2 and also decentralized autonomous companies value proposition. So layer 2 is the scaling layer 1 Ethereum, making transactions cheap and fast. We're also building IPFS storage and all no-code capabilities such as the one-click smart contracts and also DAC templates. But our first and foremost value proposition is, of course, a built-in DAO structure. And our DAO structure is different from the DAOs as people know it. So I'm just going to tell you about it in a second. So first of all, layer 2, and we're using the layer 2 optimistic roll-up technology, which is, of course, allows us to keep and promote our decentralization vision. So our Metis is, our vision is to be completely decentralized. So Metis platform will be completely independent from the Metis team in some time in the future. So first step is, of course, technology that we already built, the optimistic rollup that allows scale transactions without compromising Ethereum security and without compromising the decentralization as well. But just for those who don't know, optimistic rollup is processing transactions in the batches, and therefore the one big gas fee split among all the transactions in a batch, and that's how it is getting cheaper. And about the DACs that I told you about, and this is our main value proposition. So DACs is, think of it as an advanced DAO, decentralized autonomous organizations. Usually decentralized autonomous organizations, as we know it, only have voting, governance, and reputation power. DAC is in a contrast have a capability to lead the whole business. So if you are, it doesn't matter if you're Web 2 and Web3 world, and you have a company, centralized, decentralized, you can do this business using DAC, using all the tooling that is inside the DAC. So payroll, tasks management, HR, hiring, and as well, of course, investments and profit sharing, everything that company usually do, you can do in a decentralized autonomous company. And here are some of the offers more, and as I said, payroll, and of course, I missed the communications, of course, the website and the chat rooms. So wouldn't it be great to have everything in one place and at the same time be on chain? Nearly a month ago, we released our Andromeda, which is our mainnet, and this is all that included in this release. So our tech is already functioning and ready, and our partners are integrating. And we also have, of course, the staking and mining that go in, and I'm going to be covering that. We have a middleware, our policy to manage the code and manage accounts. We have the bridges and now third-party bridges, and also the DEXs coming in onto the platform, and we will have more and more. And DIA is one of them. DIA provide us a very important piece of the puzzle is the Oracle infrastructure that is needed and crucial for all the DeFi, and of course is going to be crucial for majority of the dApps. So right now our TVL is kind of 60 million, and so you can see all our transactions at Andromeda-explorer.metis.io. So you can see the total supply and everything in there. So please go check. And of course, yeah, we're hiring business development and marketing associates. So if you would like to join our team is awesome. Please send us email at contact@metis.io. And we also hiring right now our PR manager. We will have that at the end of the presentation. So just let me wait until the end. I will announce what roles we are hiring as well. So yes, our bridge is also part of the Andromeda release. So if you go to bridge.metis.io, you can bridge right now the following tokens. It's Metis Link, USDC, USDT, and WOW tokens that are already exist in Andromeda and used by the dApps that integrated already. Please check back the bridge.metis.io because we will be adding more tokens to bridge. So the bridge, it means that you can transfer the tokens from Ethereum layer 1 to Metis layer 2. So at that you have to pay the gas fees, which is Ethereum applicable ones. But after you transfer to layer 2, all the gas fees are very, very low, and they will be even lower because we're developing further, and with our decentralized storage, the fees are going to become super low. And our staking is going, and this is our community development program. So we created our first glimpse of the DAC, decentralized autonomous companies, and now people can go and create decentralized autonomous companies, and for that we reward those people. So what you need to do, create your decentralized autonomous company, your laptop, desktop, internet, you need to create an account. And basically you have to go to portal.metis.io and just, follow. It's very intuitive. You create your DC, you invite people, and of course you come up with the awesome name of your decentralized autonomous company and tell your friends to join, and we reward you for doing that. And that's the portal. That's how it looks. Basically just 2 buttons. You can create a company or you can browse existing ones. So we have more and more companies that are created right now. So please go and try. And this is policy.metis.io is our middleware that is allowing the developers who joining our ecosystem to manage their code, but as well, this is acting as of course, it can act as the wallet as for the token transfers on Metis Layer 2, and as well for your identity. So you can connect with MetaMask, and as well, you can connect with username and password to there. So if you go to portal.metis.io, once you try to create a DEC, you will be prompted to create an account or to connect your wallet, and you will see and will be redirected to policy.metis.io. For staking, so if you would like to take advantage, so we have another few weeks to go in this program. After that, we will be finishing this program, but for now we still have the rewards going on. So more friends you invite to your DC, more rewards you're going to get. And of course, you can claim the rewards and withdraw back at any time. So there is no holding period for your staking. But when you leave the vault, 10% of your rewards, not your funds, but your rewards, will be deducted and shared between the people who stayed in the program. We also have a lucky draw, and of course, the ranking. So more people we invite, higher will be your ranking. According to this ranking, we are doing a draw every week, and the winner gets 50 Metis tokens, again, as our thank you for staying in the vault, for participating in our community development program. And today we're going to be having our third lucky draw. Yes, and so this program is only lasting 56 days. We're already 3 weeks into this program, so take advantage if you would like to participate in it. Our ecosystem is growing. We're having more and more, and already I'm showing you this ecosystem at our partners that are already integrated to Metis Layer 2, but this chart is already outdated because we're updating it every once in a while, but we have our partnership growing every day. So for the latest partnerships, please connect to our Telegram MetisDAO or our Twitter MetisDAO to see the announcements for the new partnerships. All right, so I have to mention NetSwap, and you saw our fireside chat with the NetSwap last week. So NetSwap is native decentralized exchange on native layer 2 decentralized exchange. So this is our third-party partner, and they are running lots of programs as well. Some of the programs we mentioned in the very detailed presentation in our last live stream. So please check our last live stream for that. The only thing I should mention today as well, so this is how you can get in on it, and that's swap.io. And also the total liquidity right now is almost 9 million in NetSwap, which is pretty impressive for just a couple of weeks that this layer 2 went on Metis Live. And also the first round of airdrop, and that's going to be a Christmas gift, will be on December 24th at 3 p.m. UTC. Please don't miss it. So you have to claim it by then, and it will be calculated on December 23. If you're not on NetSwap yet and you haven't get any activity in there, please get in there, create liquidity, and you will be given airdrop the tokens. So so this is the courtesy of NetSwap. Also, Poly Network Bridge to BC is already live. We also had the fireside chat with the Poly Network last time. So you can go to bridge.poly.network and you can bridge Metis tokens from Ethereum to BSC. So that is a very nice feature. So please use it. And we're going to be having more bridges with more networks as well. Metis is a multi-chain layer 2. So please stay tuned. And also our partner Boring DAO with a very not boring name. So the bridge is going to be introducing the and Curve Finance as well. So just wait for the announcement for that too. And as you know, we have $100 million in USD grants from our investors for our ecosystem partners. So if you would like to become one of our partner and take advantage of this funding, please apply at metis.io/grants. So we not only have that, but we also have a builder mining, which allows you to draw profit from every transaction on Metis. Plus, you will get an advantage of our marketing support. And our hackathon is going on. So our live stream is going to be, for the hackathon, is going to be this Thursday. So please join this Thursday, December 23, at the same time as right now. So we're going to be featuring some of the early submissions. We have very interesting projects that are building on top of Metis that came from this hackathon, but there's still time to join because we're accepting submissions until December 30th. So if you would like to get on it, so please go and apply at hackathon.metis.io. All right, and now we get into our featured presentation of today, our partner, DIA. Oracles. So in order to visit DIA, go to diadata.org. So Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is the website that I think people, if you go there, you can find all the information there. I'm sure there are other websites that they can go to. So let me know, Paul, if this is, if there's somewhere else that people can go and learn about DIA. And today we are having as a guest today Paul Claudius for our fireside chat, and we prepared some of the questions just to learn a little bit more about DIA, about oracles. So let's get on it.
Yeah, thank you, Elena, for having me. And homepage you and the domain you just shared is absolutely correct. So please head to diadata.org to learn about DIA, or feel free to join us on our socials, Telegram, Twitter. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. So, Paul, tell us a little bit more about oracles, because not all the people know what oracles are, because sometimes when we talk about oracles, they think about this company Oracle. So tell us what oracles are. Yeah, in the first place.
Yeah, love to. So blockchains don't have connectivity to outside data. So a lot of applications do actually need to know information which is not natively accessible on these blockchains. So being it Metis or Ethereum or whatever blockchain might be out there for different use cases. And oracles have basically the role of bringing information to a blockchain. DIA is a decentralized oracle provider. So what do? We're sourcing data and we're computing that data and providing it to different chains such as Metis, where we deployed not even a week ago. We're quite happy because yeah, Elena, you have an amazing team, and there's a great ecosystem we see being built around you. But let me get back to the role of the oracle. So I think one of the most prevalent use cases is to access asset price information. So even the Metis blockchain or Ethereum blockchain doesn't know how much Metis against USD is currently the value. So the oracle is providing that information. And how do we do this? So at DIA, we clearly differentiate against our competitors. We go really at the source to bring information together from multiple markets. So this means we're integrated in all the major and large exchanges such as a Coinbase, Kraken, Binance. We stream every single trade from these markets and aggregate this. But we're also connected on and we're running node infrastructure to pull single trades from various DEXs out there. And we do this not only from, I guess everybody is familiar with a Uniswap on Ethereum mainnet, but we are pulling trade data from all the major DEXs on different L1s and L2s. So being it other L1s such as Solana or different Polkadot parachains. And also when we started to deploy our oracles on Metis, obviously first look was at which are the relevant markets we can pull. And this is also something we're working on. So again, we're aggregating all these different trades, and then we are using different methodologies of compiling a price feed. So we're cleansing against outliers, and we're building a volume weighted average, for example, to then come up with a Metis USD price. And this price we're providing then through Oracle on-chain to different applications who are ingesting this. And this price can then be used, for example, to value the collateral. So if you have, for example, Metis as a collateral in an application, somebody is providing Metis and is lending against it, say a stable coin, the application does need to know the value of the collateral, and this is which is provided through our oracles. Yeah, hope this answered your question.
Oh yeah, it's a very good answer. So even I learned a lot as well. So is it possible for oracles to provide any data even beside world of crypto? Is this something that oracles and DIA can do in the future, or
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So DIA really provides a very broad set of data. So as we are integrated all these markets, what differentiates us really from other oracles is that we can also provide long tail assets. So not only in Ethereum, Bitcoin, or the top 50 tokens, but we can create feeds also for more illiquid tokens. But we go well beyond that. So we can also provide traditional equities data. So we are pulling equities data from major exchanges, NYSE, NASDAQ, and others, and we can provide this to adapt. So if somebody has a use case which includes and requires equities or commodities data, this is also something we're covering. There are also other use cases which are not related to the price points of individual assets. So we're also aggregating data sets based on different DeFi metrics, so TVLs of different protocols which can be used. We're also aggregating NFT data. So for example, when you want to build, I don't know, a synthetic product on CryptoPunks, we are gathering trade data on different assets, and we're aggregating this and supplying this. And maybe a last use case, which is also very different, is randomness. So for example, if you are building an application which requires randomness, again, something which you don't have natively on a blockchain accessible, and you want to randomly, so I guess the easiest example is if you would create a roulette table on chain, who would decide if it's black or red? For these reasons, randomness come into play, and this is something we're providing, but it is very much used in play to earn, different loot boxes, in accessing what trades while minting NFT are actually provided. So what we're providing is well beyond, let's say, an ETH USD price.
Oh, this is great. So, and if something like for some of the dApps, or because we are also onboarding Web2 companies, if they don't find this data, is there some process they can fill a request for the data that they need? Like, are you flexible, or this is something that exists in your roadmap that can be done for the companies, kind of like a la carte service for those non-standard probably requests?
Yeah, no, I think we're extremely flexible, and we really build feeds to match the application's use case. So we do have off the shelf, I think, very resilient feeds you can just use. But we always speak with the team, look at what they want to do with the feed, understand really how the application works, understand potential risks, and then we jointly discuss which markets, which sources shall be used to be included in a feed, and how we are computing it and how we're updating it when it comes also to the frequency. So this is really bespoke and tailor-made, because this is absolutely critical. It's pretty easy, to be honest, to provide a resilient ETH-USD feed, because there's just a ton of volume, and if you include a couple of markets, you have a relatively stable and good product. So that's not rocket science. But when it comes to building a feed from just a handful of markets, a couple of DEXs on different blockchains, and this is used for collateral, so very critical, then it is really required to look at the feed, understand how the DApp ingests it, and work with the team here. So if you have a need, obviously good starting point is to have a first look at our documentation, which you find under docs.deardata.org, or you're heading to our homepage and click into the developers section. You'll find that information, and then please just reach out to the team. So we're extremely approachable and accessible, I guess. So being it directly on Telegram, we're happy to set up a group and pull everyone from our end to help you answer any questions. Or we also have a developer-specific Discord, which you can also find the link if you head to our homepage and can join there and discuss any technical cues you have.
Right. Thank you for that, because yes, since we are catering for the Web2 world, so we might have the requests and our partners might have additional requests for it. So it's really great to know that you are flexible enough to comply, to satisfy those requests. So thank you. My next question, and this is something that we always ask our partners. How did you come to this idea of create to create DIA, and what your team look like right now? Who is part of your team?
Yeah, so we didn't really decide on building DIA on a white piece of paper, just believing that this is a great business opportunity. But DIA really derived out of a proprietary need. So basically 2017, when we're building applications which you would probably call today DeFi, so smart contracts holding different assets and being able to rebalance them and bridge them into traditional finance, we identified the need of transparent data, and this was something absent. So there was very little information on which markets actually are the foundation for data sets being offered, and this lack of transparency really kind of pushed us into building this part of, I guess, initial DIA infrastructure ourselves. And we early on realized that this is a need not only we have, but a couple of other dApps and builders ask us, hey, can you also provide us with a price feed on this and that? And due to a lack of resource, because this was really just a building block of a larger product, we outsourced the work. So we asked through Gitcoin, which is kind of like the Upwork of the ETH community, to add new data sources and build new scrapers. And we realized that this is quite an efficient process, and at the same time, it provides a lot of transparency. Really, not only having a product which has been built and documenting it properly, but really from the inception of the need until the deployment. And as this got more and more interest, we said, okay, this works very efficiently, provides a high level of transparency, runs fairly autonomously, what's the right governance structure. So it deserves the right governance, as this is very critical infrastructure. So an Oracle can have a very big impact on a product. So we set this up as a Swiss association, which is a great legal structure for DAO. And already back then, I think the term governance token wasn't really, I guess, framed yet. We had the idea of enabling token holders to have a decision-making power, how DIA is being built out over time. So basically from the learnings, like in Switzerland, the Swiss exchange is owned predominantly by the Swiss banks. Why? Because it's such an important infrastructure to them, and they want to ensure that it is being built out as their needs might change over time. And so basically wanted to have the same approach in a trustless Web3 environment, hence setting DIA up as a DAO, and already from day one having at least parts of DIA being run in a decentralized manner, as we from day one included external builders to work on the product. And today we are basically on this journey as a DAO. I think everybody can claim to be a DAO from day one, but unless you have a very specific use case, as I don't know, like collect money to buy the constitution. So, okay, you can be a DAO and you're pretty decentralized from day one. But if you're building infrastructure which changes requirements and is a bit more complex, we believe it makes sense to gradually become completely decentralized, and we're on this journey. I think we have this, well advanced. So there are multiple areas of on the governance side where our token holders can have an influence on usage of funds, on validating products, and we're quite excited on the next year, as we set quite a solid foundation in 2021 to really further build out the level of decentralization of DIA without sacrificing speed. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, kudos for you, team, to running this as a decentralized business. But you are absolutely right. As decentralization makes sense is only when it makes sense, of course, right? So the decision making for the community, where the product is going, it's an excellent use case for the decentralization, for the decentralizing decisions. But sometimes, of course, we need to be centralized, especially in the software development, and when we need to do something fast. So it's very admirable of what you do with the DIA in terms of this combination of the decentralization and decentralization as well. So who is also, like, you are co-founder, you can read on my slide that you are co-founder. So do you have other co-founders with you that founded DIA?
Yes, so we founded DIA jointly, so I have co-founders around me, so we're all focusing on different areas. So I'm in charge of business development, and as I said, or as you rightfully mentioned, there's value in having a centralized team to get from A to D, I guess, very focused, with clear goals set and executing them. So there's a core team in DIA. At the same time, I always have this stupid analogy to, I think if you want to write a children's book with 8 pages and nice graphics, it's probably good to do this in a team of 3. You'll be very efficient. If you try to rebuild Wikipedia to get, I guess, the world's content into a database, this is pretty hard to do with a centralized team, even if it's pretty large. So there's this tipping point at which point the centralized team is becoming less relevant, and the DAO and its contributors are becoming more meaningful. And we are really at this tipping point. Still with a very involved core team and with my co-founders, but more and more the DAO and the different stakeholders and contributors are adding tremendous value to the product.
Awesome. And this is a perfect use case would be for Metis as well. So this is the team that are going from the centralized model to decentralized models, so involving more of the community, and not only in the decision making, but also in the development of the product as well. It's a very good use case.
Yeah, we have, for example, just to mention one use case, we rolled out is the approval. It's called CARS, so community approval requests. So where we have basically potentially not only internal Q&A review, which we anyways have obviously when we deploy things, but having the ability to have not only a 5, a 10 or 20 eyes review, but 100 or 500 or 1,000 at some point, really adds to the resilience and the transparency, because in order to have people review, you need to basically reveal what you're having reviewed, and this we believe fundamentally adds to a better, more secure and reviewed infrastructure. So something probably which sounds still pretty futuristic, but learnings from open source software, I think this is not unlikely to become an absolute standard in more traditional organizational forms.
But this completely makes sense, having hundreds of eyes on this review is much more beneficial, of course, than if you have only 6 pairs. And which is, I'm asking these questions on purpose because we are providing the value of this decentralization to our other partners. So thank you so much for putting these thoughts into my head that we can actually share with other partners, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
Great. So my next question, and that could be the tricky one, because we know that so companies that came, for example, on the market first, they always have a little bit of the advantage, right? So, and then we know there are other Oracle providers that came in, and they're considered to be very prominent and big and large. And but what is your take on the competition like that? Who are your competitors, and what is your value proposition comparing to them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So luckily we are not the only Oracle out there, because I think competition is always great. There are a couple of very good products out there, Chainlink, Band, Teller. So there are a couple of Oracles there, and we do value to have them. And I think it challenges us all to provide a better product. Would be horrible if there would be just one option in the market. Having said that, obviously, we believe that we provide a unique product which really differentiates from these options out there. So if you're looking for, again, a Bitcoin USD or ETH USD Oracle, I think you can't go really wrong if you're picking us or one of our large competitors, such as Chainlink or Band. These products are all of very high quality. But as we differentiate from our infrastructure significantly, while others are just focusing on the last mile, so bringing information on chain in a decentralized manner, we believe that the feed an application is ingesting, it is absolutely key to understand where the underlying data comes from. So different to other providers out there, we don't buy this data pre-aggregated at premium vendors, which is basically their source. So they don't get it somewhere. So I don't want to question the quality of where they buy it, but there's a lack of understanding transparency, actually, how then Bitcoin USD price has been calculated. And that's, again, not so much of an operational issue with these very large feeds, but it makes it basically impossible to get long tail assets, and it makes it impossible to adjust the feed. So what we can do is we can select markets, methodologies, so really all the specifications of a feed, and compute this. So this is absolutely unique. And if you need more than just a standard feed, we are uniquely positioned to provide this, because we are also sourcing markets which are also for these data providers, which then work with the other oracles together, fairly inaccessible, because you need to run nodes on very early emergent L1s and L2s. So I think there's just a limited set, possibly none, who can actually aggregate all the DEXs being deployed on Metis, and the same comes to Solana or parachains on Kusama. So we are able to get all these single trade data and bring them together. So so there is quite a big differentiator to what we do and what other oracles do.
Is this information available also on your website? You know, because I want to ask you a question. Like, can you give me, example of this, specific example of this computation, right? So where people can use it, in which dApps, like, and how?
Yeah. So in our documentation, you'll find information on different methodologies which we're applying to, for example, calculate volume weighted averages, the time windows, and we also provide transparency on all the markets we have. And basically, then there are some standard feeds where we include a certain set of markets applied predefined methodologies, and then again, if you have a specific need, we'll create a tailor-made feed, really selecting the different markets, looking at how much volume, what's the volatility of the asset, what's the frequency you need that, and build it for you. And it sounds like a very long process. We can spin this up basically in a day. Yeah.
That's so cool. In a day, it's very impressive. So we just the other day I went to, I think it was a coin market cap, and there was such a glitch in there. That it was, some other cryptocurrency was in front of the Bitcoin in terms of capitalization. I don't remember which one, but yes, it was really, really funny to look at that. So was this, I think that was the kind of like Oracle issue, and how do you prevent this from happening in DIA?
Yeah, so I think there are two things. So first of all, you need to have very resilient infrastructure. So we're working together with IBM, and we're using high resilience infrastructure, which is usually just used by regulated financial institutions. So so we can ensure that servers just don't go off and then an API feed doesn't work anymore. At the same time, when you look at different sources, if you're just relying on one source, and you were mentioning CoinMarketCap, but there, for example, also dApps and different applications using, for example, a Kraken or Coinbase API as a feed and relying on these. But this is just one market, and we have quite some history, and we're obviously looking at this as a single source of many, but they do have glitches. And then, for example, even with large assets such as an ETH price, sometimes there is just a glitch of 30%. And if you use this and you assess the collateral based on, for example, a Kraken feed only, this will probably result in the loss of user funds. And for this reason, we always advise, let's take more than one market. Let's take as many as possible, unless, for example, you only want to include markets which are natively on a certain blockchain, or which are in a certain jurisdiction, or for some other reasons. But apart from that, the more markets, the better, and really looking at the volume which is being provided by these markets, and then you can mitigate risk pretty well, and then you don't end up in in one of these glitches we see with basically any provider out there. Yeah.
Is this the same issue that happened to Iron Finance, or this is I'm mixing it up? So so that was the bank run. So as far as I understand, so do you know about that one?
Yeah, so so I think this is it's good you're pointing this out. So I think there's a misconception on where one should focus on when selecting Oracle. So everybody's just afraid that the smart contract providing this data might be tampered by a man-in-the-middle attack, some fairly academic perspective on who could tamper that. But the real problem actually is that underlying data has been used, which comes from markets, which just by having very low volumes just might report something which can result in a loss of funds, or which can be attacked through, for example, a sandwich attack. So again, if you add more than one market, if you ensure you're using some outlier cleaning and relevant time windows on calculating a feed, this is something you can really mitigate. So I think in the history of oracles, the problem was never a man-in-the-middle attack trying to push off, like it wasn't the infrastructure that tried to tamper data, but it was always the data. And this is why we believe it's so important to understand where data comes from and how this is being computed and used.
Yes, and like how we can be sure. So adding more markets. So this is the mitigation for that.
It's easy. It's easy, and then also having the transparency. What is there? So just saying, yeah, there are a bunch of markets. I think this is not enough. I think the DApp and also the end user should have clear transparency and being able, at least having the information provided to assess risk. And yeah.
So the end user could assess the risks as well. So not
yeah, I think so. I think for now, the foundation is to be transparent, and then it's up to the user to be able to evaluate it. But we obviously have the clear goal to abstract it in a way that it's more accessible for people who are not developers or financial analysts. But if you abstract something to, let's say, I don't know, red, green, yellow as a risk assessment, still we believe that you need to provide the information. How did you derive with this risk scoring? So the foundation is key, and then everything else is just UX. Yeah,
I understand. Okay, so I'm looking at my list of questions. There is another question that I had about the decentralization. So how do you think, what do you think, why if the decentralization is critical for oracles? If it's critical, do you think it's critical?
Yeah, I mean, I think decentralization shouldn't be a self-fulfilling goal. So like DAOs is, not everybody needs a DAO, right? It must cater to what you want to achieve. And I think oracles, there are elements which shall be decentralized, but I think what is more important than decentralization is transparency. I think there's very little value in claiming to be decentralized, but not providing the transparency. So this is our core focus, the transparency, the level of decentralization, kind of by nature of how we basically created DIA and having from day one multiple stakeholders working on the infrastructure. So it's a combination of both, I do believe. Then obviously, how decentralized can you do computation if you're aggregating millions of trades? Very difficult / not possible at all. So there's no oracle which is computing multiple markets on chain. Why? It's not possible. Yeah. So there's a level of centralization in the compute, but you need to be very transparent where this actually happens and what is being done. So what's the methodology here again? So people can understand what's the input, what's the output. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, even regarding the time, right? So it's on the it has to be done also at the same time, right? So the timing on the blockchain, that's can be very fluid, right? So it's yes, decentralization makes sense when it makes sense. And I have a question from the audience: when will the random numbers be available? Not that I understand what is it about. So can you please explain what it is?
Yes, that's the randomness I was referring to, which we're providing. So please just reach out to me. I'm sure we can help you in very due time. Yes.
Okay, so it can be available in upon request. So that's the answer. And can you just a little bit tell about what is this, the random numbers? Because I'm reading the question and I don't understand what is it.
Yeah, it's something we haven't released yet. So I'm a bit shy of kind of ruining the announcement here. But
I see.
Do reach out. So randomness again. Applications basically need randomness on chain. This is something which is not there by nature. So there is a solution by, for example, Chainlink, which provides randomness on Ethereum and Polygon upon request. We believe we have a different solution in solving this problem, and it is it is not chain specific. So do reach out to us if you require this. I think we have a very economic and efficient way of providing it, because for now a lot of applications, they just have a workaround and use a hash or something last block to create pseudo randomness, which you can basically which is easy to be gamed. Yeah.
So as far as I understand, and now I remember I saw this question from the hackers from our hackathon as well. So this is something that allowed them to use the random algorithms on chain? Is that related? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So if you have a DApp on Metis or wherever, and you want randomness, just ping me. And we're happy to discuss the use case, and we'll ensure a timely shipping.
Awesome. So guys, for randomness, please randomly ping Paul, Claudius,
Exactly.
for
it's my handle on Twitter, on Telegram, so you can just ping me directly, and I'll spin off a group with the team.
Very good. So we are now almost at the end of our live stream. So thank you so much, Paul. And guys, if you have any questions, so please you open to send them to MetisDAO Telegram or to the live stream. So while Paul is still here for 5 minutes of our live stream, we can answer that. But in the meantime, I would like to say thank you so much, Paul, for attending and answering all those questions. So great. So I learned a lot. So hopefully our audience learned a lot too. And again, for the random numbers, please contact Paul. And we're going to be proceeding with the lucky draw right now. All right, so let me stop sharing the screen and I will share my random file. This is the randomness that we use here for our DEC, so all the decentralized autonomous companies that are created. So in the week 3, so this is our file to select randomly the winner of 50 Metis token for the lucky draw. And of course, we have the ranking of these DCs, and this random algorithm is built according to the ranking. So when I click this button, choose, the winner name should pop up under the red rectangle. So just stay with me, and here we go. All right, so I will just uncover the name. So win together is our winner for the lucky draw of 50 Metis tokens. Congratulations. So, and let me proceed with our presentation. Okay, all right. Yes, and this is what this lucky draw was about. I already told you that, and this is our previous winner. So our next winner going to be joining Win Together, going to be joining the list. Congratulations to the Win Together team and Decentralized Autonomous Company. Congratulations. And again, guys, just a reminder that our hackathon is still going and we're still accepting submissions as well. And if you would like to enter hackathon at that time, you still have until December 30th to build and submit. Again, reminder that we have $100 million in grants from our investors to develop our ecosystem. So please apply metis.io/grants if you would like to take an advantage of this funding. And we're hiring marketing and PR manager. Send us resume to contact at metis.io. And we also hiring business development and marketing associates. Also send your resumes to contact at metis.io and join our awesome team. This is my LinkedIn and Twitter. You are welcome to contact me directly as well. My name is Elena Selenikova. I am the CEO of Metis, and please contact me on this. And stay connected to Metis at metis.io, also Telegram MetisDAO, Twitter MetisDAO, and of course email contact@metis.io. And our next live stream is going to be Thursday, December 23, and that is going to be Metis Hackathon pre-submissions review. As I told already, we have some very, very cool submissions already before the date, and we have put a call for the early submissions, so we will be randomly again rewarding our teams who did their work earlier, submitted their work earlier, did the pre-submission. So those of you who submitted, so if you for some reason you're not qualified for the submission yet, so because you need to be on Metis Layer 2, either on Stardust.net or Andromeda mainnet to submit. So you need to have a code, you need to have given us a code, you need to have a video. So if you don't have those, our teams will be contacting you to correct your submissions. So please check your messages, your email regarding that. And our live stream again on Thursday, December 3 at 5 p.m. UTC, which is this time as we go right now. And we are right now at the end of our live stream. Thank you so much, everyone attending. Thank you so much, Paul, again, for talking to us. Thank you so much, my team, for helping me with this live stream. Thank you so much, Yaroslav, for multitasking today between two events. You did awesome. And I would like to say thank you. Merry Christmas. So we most likely we will announce when we have our next live stream. It might happen that we're going to go for a Christmas holiday just for 1 week on the next during the next live stream. So stay tuned on our Telegram and Twitter about this announcement. That was Elena Sinelnikova, Metis and Metis team. Thank you very much. Have a great Christmas. Goodbye.